Okay, today I am joined by Congressman Scott Perry from Pennsylvania. He's just stepped away from these Democrat governor hearings. Congressman, thank you for joining me.
Well, it's great to be with you, Stephen.
Tell me about what's going on. I've been watching these over on X. We've got Tim Walz, we've got Pritzker from Chicago, and some other mayors. Seems like they are defending their bad behavior. They are trying to throw Trump under the bus every chance they get. What are you seeing being there live today?
Well, like you said, we're there with three governors, Governor Walz, Governor Hochul, and Governor Pritzker. They are all leading states that are considered sanctuary states because of the policies that exist in those states and are supported by those governors. People say, well, what does that mean? So policies that, for instance, discourage law enforcement from cooperating with federal immigration authorities like ICE, policies that offer free education to people that are here illegally, or driver's licenses that are to people that are here illegally. Those are all considered sanctuary policies. And so they are defending those policies by saying things like that people that are here illegally don't commit more crimes, that they actually add value, that they don't cost other taxpayers anything. Of course, they blame all the problem on the federal government and call for comprehensive immigration reform, which just equates to amnesty. And they don't acknowledge the fact that President Biden had a wide open border policy, which, coupled with their sanctuary policy, means that their state is then a magnet for these people to come and reside in their state. And of course, they don't even know the names of the people, the victims that have been assaulted, have been murdered, have been raped. They don't know the names of the illegal foreign nationals residing in their states that have committed these crimes. They don't know the amount of money that's spent on them. They don't know any of that stuff. And quite honestly, I don't think they care about any of that. They just support wide open borders and allowing anybody to come into their state. And that's their general position.
Yeah, that's interesting. Specifically, Governor Kathy Hochul, if these illegal immigrants don't cost any money, why were they begging the federal government for money? Why was Mayor Eric Adams saying, this is going to bankrupt New York? We need federal help. We need Biden to step in. And Biden basically told him, shut up. And now today he's announced he's going to be working with Trump and ICE to clean up the city, which is in direct opposition to Governor Kathy Hochul.
That's exactly right. Of course, like I said, their policies, whether they're cities, whether they're counties, or the state itself, encourage illegal foreign nationals who are in the country illegally. All of them have at least committed the crime of coming illegally, but many of them, hundreds of thousands of them, have committed much more dangerous and violent crimes. We don't know where they are, but and what their disposition is, but they welcome them to their political enclave, their state, their city, what have you, and then they complain that they need money to pay for them. Well, they shouldn't welcome them in the first place, and then they wouldn't need to put their citizens aside. The citizens residing in those states become second-class citizens to these people that are here illegally. It's really it's breathtaking, but at the same time, why? What do I have to say about that? Those citizens elected those people to administer and govern those cities and states.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of New York, I'm going to play something for us to react to. This is a Hispanic New Yorker saying that they are taking advantage of people that are struggling financially to protest against Donald Trump. Let me go ahead and play that, and then we'll react to it together.
I just got offered $200 to go protest ICE right here in New York City. There's an organization called the Kings. Basically, on June 14, they're going to have a big protest. They're recruiting people, telling you people where they got to go, what streets to be in. They're also going to be delivering bricks in case they have to defend themselves. The craziest part is they said if you get arrested, you will be provided with a lawyer free of charge to get you out of jail. Like, this is insane. Now, see, some Latino, they probably saw me as an easy target, mostly going after Latinos like me. But what they don't know is that I'm a legal immigrant here, and I would not sell on my country for $200. Actually, I would not sell on my country for any amount, because this country has given me so much to me and my family. There's no way I'm going to. Think about all the people who need the money right now and taking the bait, to go protest. This is some scary crap. I mean, the fact that you have to pay people to go protest is insane, and people are going to fall for it because people do need the money. What do you guys think about this crazy scam? And did I do the right thing by refusing to sell on my country? Please leave me a comment below.
Okay, I've seen this out in LA. I've seen this in Chicago. It's all over TikTok. People coming on saying, we're being paid hundreds of dollars a day. They're telling us which streets to be on, where bricks are, where masks are. President Trump has called for Pam Bondi and Kash Patel to investigate and follow the money trail. Your thoughts on this, and will we be able to find out who's actually funding these riots?
Well, it's my understanding, and I did reach out to Director Patel last week to ask him about who was funding the riots, or earlier this week to ask him who was funding the riots, and he said that they were already working on it. It's my understanding that they've identified at least one individual who does not reside within the continental United States of America. So I'll just leave it at that until other information becomes available. But I do want to say, God bless this individual who put this up on, on whatever social media platform that is. He loves America. He wants to support America. He's not going to be paid to protest. He said not for any price. Those are the people that did it right, that followed the law, that want to be a part of America and make America better. Those are the people that we want to celebrate. And the other thing is that the left is going to say, and of course this is all being orchestrated. They're going to say this is organic. It is not organic, especially when it's all being orchestrated, when it's being paid for. And then finally, provide bricks to defend yourself. Well, if you're peacefully protesting, as almost every single Democrat is saying right now, why do you need a brick to protest or to protect yourself? We know why they're providing the bricks. We might have been bored at night, but it wasn't last night. I mean, how obscene is that? This is intended to turn into a violent protest. That's why they're doing it. And of course, it is orchestrated. It is not organic. This is left-wing propaganda turned into action to undermine the sovereignty of the United States of America.
Yeah, let me get your thoughts on this, because this one hits close to home. This is the senator from your state, Pennsylvania. He's saying, you have to condemn the LA riots. This is anarchy and true chaos. My party loses the moral high ground when they refuse to condemn setting cars on fire, destroying buildings, and assaulting law enforcement. Here's a Democrat senator from your state saying, this is nuts. Like, we've lost the moral high ground. How can Democrats defend loving America when they behave like this?
Well, they certainly can't. And of course, I don't know that any of them, the rest of them, have joined Senator Fetterman in his assessment, which, by the way, is correct. They're all saying, well, we support law enforcement and there should be no violence. Meanwhile, you got, illegal foreign nationals standing on top of police cars that have been vandalizing, waving the Mexican flag around in the backdrop of burning police vehicles and private private property being destroyed and looted. That's not peaceful. It's opposed and antithetical to law and order and law enforcement. And there is one party that has chosen the side of unlawful, illegal foreign nationals and those who support them. And there's another party that supports law enforcement, law and order, safe streets, and the rule of law, where we all follow the set of rules that we all agree on. The contrast couldn't be more stark at this point.
Yeah. God bless him for telling the truth. I wish more Democrats would join on that. I'm not alleging that Walmart is behind this, or even the heiress of Walmart that is trying to pay to mobilize people. 1,500 protests around the nation this coming Saturday. They also plan to protest President Trump's Washington, D.C. military pride parade. She paid upwards of $250,000 to take out a full-page New York Times color ad telling people to protest Trump, to stand up, to basically make your voice heard. But she knows that this leads to violence, arrests, attack on police, burning cars and buildings. Walmart has officially come out and condemned violence. But this is crazy to me. Do people really hate Trump this much that they're willing to damage police officers, buildings, small businesses? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, look, obviously she is part of the left-wing elite in this country. She is not subject to any of the things that she's promoting. She, I'm sure, is very safe behind some gated, armed, compound where she gets to reside based on the wealth that her family has accumulated by selling cheap Chinese goods to millions and millions of, low income and middle income Americans. And Walmart does provide a service, but let's face it, Walmart can say that it's opposed to violence as an official statement, but her doing this sends the exact opposite signal. And she's putting, a statement's one thing, but most people don't have $250,000 in 10 years to spend on something extraneous. And she puts an ad in the paper for one day and acts like it's nothing for $250,000. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. And so it just shows where the elitists, the coastal elites, and the billionaire class in America, where they stand politically. They stand for left-wing propaganda and anarchy, and of course, lawlessness and violence in the streets committed at the hands of people that have been brought in by the tens of millions and now illegally.
Tired of old, worn-out socks that just don't cut it? Summer's the perfect time to refresh your sock game with new ankle athletic running socks. Say goodbye to those annoying ankle socks that slip into your shoe mid-stride. These socks feature a unique cushioned tab at the back, designed to keep them securely in place no matter how active you are. With superior comfort and breathability, they're ideal for running, hiking, walking, or lounging at home. I absolutely love these socks. They've changed the way I move. It's time to make socks great again. Don't put up with subpar socks any longer. Grab your new socks now and step into summer with confidence. Follow the link down below and buy the socks I love and wear every single day. You'll love them as much as I do. Yeah. Again, I'm not alleging she's calling for violence, but she is calling for direct protest against President Trump. And this is the money we know she's spent. Where else has she been spending money?
Well, I know that they have spent money to defeat me in my races for this seat. So I pay particular attention to the Walton family and where they spend their money.
Okay, interesting. I want to bring up a scene here from a protest last night. President Trump has said that he actually would like to have anyone that burns an American flag at a protest or a riot, that they go to jail for over a year. This is a man who stepped in, surrounded by Antifa people, supporters of Hamas, anti-America. He stepped in. What are your thoughts on President Trump? I know people say, especially military, I fight to give people the First Amendment right to burn the flag if they want. It's a pet peeve of mine. Maybe it's from being a Boy Scout, but what are your thoughts on President Trump saying there should be some kind of repercussion for burning the American flag?
I will tell you, look, I find it offensive as an American, certainly as an individual who's worn the uniform of the U.S. Army. I find it very offensive and unpatriotic and ungrateful to the nation that gives you the freedom. At the same time, I would fight and wore the uniform and pledged everything, including my life, to defend your right to disagree and to express yourself that way. So I can't say that I'm keen on putting people in prison for burning the American flag, regardless of how offensive I find it. Now, I would say this: when you do burn the American flag and disrespect your country and the appropriate processes by which we can make change in the United States of America, I'm glad that you've identified yourself to your community as a person that feels that way, because then we know exactly what your viewpoint is. And look, if you believe in communism and socialism and hate the great things that America stands for, I think it's important that the community knows that. To me, then that's an indicator of whether you should serve on the school board or whether I take my car to you for service or anything or whether I even invite you to the picnic in my backyard, quite honestly.
Okay. I know we're up against a time ceiling. Final thing, I know you supported Trump all of these years. You've been big on America first. My goodness, the president has done so much for Pennsylvania. Energy protection, jobs, saving U.S. steel. Your thoughts on everything he's done for your great state?
Well, look, we love Pennsylvania. Of course, it's the Keystone State. Unfortunately, we have Democrat governors that keep on holding us back, but President Trump is doing everything he can in spite of our Democrat governors to make Pennsylvania great. We have great, hardworking people, great resources, great proximity to some of the world's most important places. And so we're just very thankful that we have a president that acknowledges how great the state of and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is and what it has to offer to the rest of the country and the world. And, if we can't get a good governor, at least we got a great president that acknowledges what we have to bring.
Boy, amen. Congressman Scott Perry from Pennsylvania, thank you so much for coming on. I know you got to run. We'll have you on again. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Well, thank you. God bless you and your audience.